OST 2016. This is interviews, music reviews, and more. This is The Hodder Show.
What is up, everybody? We're rolling out of here today in episode 391 of The Hodder Show. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you so very much for tuning in and clicking that play button on today's episode of the podcast. We got a wicked episode for you here today, as I try to have every single week right here on The Hodder Show. I'm sitting down with my buddy, Ev Gallows, the vocalist of the band Judgement, who are blowing up all over social media right now. You've probably heard clips of their brand new single, Solace and Stillness, which is an absolute banger of a song. You've probably seen some of their clips. We get into all of that, the decision to really start to push the reels and TikToks and things of that nature for the band, and how they're having so much fun with being creative in another way other than just music. And then also, of course, we talk all about the brand new single and really just what the guys have been up to over the last year and a bit. Since it's been a while since we heard from the boys here on The Hodder Show. So we have a ton of ground to cover with Ev here today. Before we jump into that, I want to thank everybody for their support on last week's episode of the show, my 8th year anniversary special, the story of The Hodder Show, hosted, of course, by my friend C.M. Peters, who did a wonderful job emceeing that. We went through 8 years of The Hodder Show in about an hour and 20 minutes. So it was really fun and interesting to get to break all that down. And I really hope those of you who checked it out enjoyed it. And if you didn't check it out and you are curious about the story behind this podcast and how it's come to be and all that fun stuff, go check it out. It was a lot of fun. And thank you again to my friend C.M. Peters for helping me out with emceeing that episode. With that out of the way, we're ready to roll into my chat with Ev Gallows from Judgement. Quick disclosure, if you are listening to this on YouTube, you're actually going to be treated to the video of this interview. For a number of reasons, I decided to share the video. You'll understand why when you watch this intro and outro. Do not have video because it's just me sitting here. You don't need to watch that. It's really boring, I promise. But the rest of this episode is going to have video of myself and Mr. Ev Gallows. So let's jump into that here. Let's get into it. All right, guys, we're here with my man Ev from Judgement. It's been a minute since we've talked. Ev, man, what's going on, brother? How are you?
What's up, man? It's been too long. This is what, like fourth, fifth time on this?
It is. I was just looking it up before we started. Let's see. The first time you were on was actually March 5th, 2020, if you can believe that. So we're actually coming up on our happy anniversary, bro. We're coming up on it quick.
Let's go. Happy anniversary.
So that was, so one, then you were on April of the next year, July of the following year. You were on actually November of 2020 as well. And then the most recent time, August of 2022, when you guys were on promoting the Crashing Down.
Yeah.
Which I didn't hear when you were on the show. But I just have to say, we have so fucking much to talk about, dude. This is going to be a wild conversation. But I just have to say, that song, dude, when I actually first heard it, I was like in tears, bro. Like,
dude.
You could feel your emotion coming through on that one, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful track. You guys did a killer job on it. Man.
Thank you, man. That means a lot, because honestly, like, I don't know if you know what the song's about, but it's about my friend who passed away. So that song means a lot to me. And actually, like, we played this song a bunch of times. At our last show, Lee actually started crying during the song, during the performance, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, man, that song means a lot to me. So I appreciate that.
It just brings out, I mean, everyone can relate to, having lost somebody, so I think when you touch on that nerve, so to speak, or not nerve, I guess, but that feeling, it really just brings something out, and it's such a raw response. Like, I was just like, I knew it was going to be good, because I heard you guys talk about it and working with who you worked with in that. I was like, I mean, this is going to be killer, but I was not expecting the soaring chorus and everything. I was like, holy crap, this is that's a lot, man, in a good way. It's
Yeah. Thank
but
you, man.
but since then, like you guys have just been on a roller coaster of just dropping banger after banger, man. Like what has the last basically year and a bit been like for you guys, just with just the amount of tracks you've been dropping?
Yeah, I mean, it's been hectic. So after Crashing Down, we did Faceless, also with Wade and Julius. Both of those songs turned out really, really cool. And that was just an experience in itself, just working with those people, and then even coming back for Faceless, like for Crashing Down, like we just met Wade at that time. So Wade, for those of you who don't know, Wade McNeil from Alexa on Fire. Um, we met him that time, so it was kind of like, a little bit of nerves and stuff. He's like he's an icon in our eyes, man.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
it's wild. One of our favorite bands of all time, like working with their guitarist. Um, so the next time we came in, it was better because we had that camaraderie already. And yeah, he just like, we walked in and he's like, "Hey boys," like gave us a big hug and stuff, and we're like, "Oh shit, we're on hugging terms now."
We're on boys and hugging terms. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. He actually he's on his little Ask an Emo, or sorry, that's our stuff. Emo night tour right now. So he's like playing emo tracks for all along Canada. Um a couple months ago, he was in St. Catharines, and we had a show at the same venue the night after. So I was like, "Hey, I'm down to, come down and watch your set." And he's like, "Awesome, I'll throw you on guest list." So I took my brother and Cam, our bassist, and then one of my brother's friends, and it was an awesome night. So it's crazy, dude. And I mean, the rest of the time in between has just been a lot of writing, a lot of planning and prepping, a lot of ideas being written down and scratched off the list. And you know it's been chaos, but in the best way possible for me.
That's awesome, bro. Things 2 a.m. wake up calls to only forget it before you can write it down, stuff like that. I'd have to
Dude,
assume. Yeah.
oh man, I will wake up from dreams being like, "This is crazy, this is so sick." So whether it's for a song or for a piece of content or whatever, I always record, right? I always take up my voice memos, and it doesn't matter where I am or what. Like as soon as an idea comes, I like record it and just say, "This is my idea," or I'll do no 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 no, hum a melody or whatever.
I live for those
It's
voicemails, bro.
Dude, it's key. It's key. They sound so ridiculous, but it is key for production, you know?
hmm You ever do this gimmick where like I used to do this back in the day. I'd be like, okay, so the one part's gonna go dun 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 dun, and then the harmony part would go. You ever do that?
Yeah,
Hold it.
I'll just be like,
Yeah.
okay, chorus. Da, da. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's wild, man.
I live for that stuff, bro. But man, one other thing you've been working on over the last year and a bit since I've seen you is that magnificent carpet you got on your face, man. Jeez, what have you been
Oh,
feeding that thing, bro? Got it
oh
all
man,
lined up
thank you.
nice. I am so jealous of your beard, dude.
Oh, thanks, man. I've just been not cutting it. Like I
That's it.
edge it up and trim it, but I'm not taking any of the length off. I actually did maybe say 2 or 3 months ago. I did take a little bit off because we were getting down there. I was like, okay, this is kind of making my face look weird now. I don't know. So I
That's
trimmed it up a little bit.
yeah, that's a good length. That's
Yeah.
good. It's like it gives you some heft, but not
Yes.
like not too much, and it's all lined up nice. It just I mean, you're already a handsome fella, but geez, come on, man.
This is to hide what's underneath. You know what I mean? This is men's makeup, right?
Bro, I feel you. I hear you, man. It was last year. I ended up accidentally trimming my beard into a really, really thin, short goatee right before my honeymoon, and like my wife came home and she was like, what did you do? Like, who are you? So I I get it, man. not,
Yeah, dude.
not
And
that I'm thinking ugly,
yours is
but
looking awesome too, man. It's looking nice and full,
well,
like
thank you. Yeah, it's
looking
time to get
great.
her. I don't touch it myself anymore because I've had too many accidents, so I have to go to a barber.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, but man, listen, I've been wanting to ask you for a while
Hmm.
because obviously you've been singing for years, but this is the longest your beard's ever been. Am I correct in saying that? Aside from a little earlier, a
Yeah,
couple months ago.
aside,
Okay,
yeah, I would say so, yeah.
so with all of the content on, I keep saying TikTok content, but also it's Instagram Reels and that you guys have been doing.
Yeah.
Um, I've been, checking everything out, and obviously everything you guys do, I'm like, this is freaking awesome, and we're gonna jump into that. But I
Yeah,
have
thanks,
to
man.
ask because on one of the videos I saw someone, it was a silly joke question, but
Okay.
someone asked, where'd that comment go? I just want to read it because it made me laugh. Genuine question. What does the size of his beard, facial hair have to do with their sound? And obviously that's a silly, like, oh, what does that have to do with anything, bro? I think the guy
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, oh, dude's a big beard shouldn't sing like this. And then later on in the
Oh,
comments, he
yeah.
was like being super like chill. And I was like, dude,
Yeah.
like, you don't have to be an asshole to get someone's attention. But anyway, well,
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Like the comments are crazy. You gotta have thick skin for this, man. Like seriously, some of the things that have been said in these comments, I'm like, um, I don't even know what to say. You just gotta have thick skin
yeah.
for it.
Well, and I would like to dive into that in a little bit because it just the whole world fascinates me and what you guys are doing now. But it does beg the question, the whole beard comment thing, as much as it was just a silly, like, what does that have to do with anything, bro? I'm genuinely curious. Do you find a difference in your singing ability with a longer beard? Like the way you would pronounce things? Like, is there any difference at all? Do you notice? Or like, I'm
It's
just
an
curious.
interesting question, man.
I'm
It's
just
an interesting
curious.
question. I mean, it's hard for me to remember like without a beard, but I would say like I would say no. Like it's not affecting my voice per se, but I don't know, maybe the movement,
That's more
like
what
when
I
I'm on
mean. Like,
stage or something, like
yeah, not so much
yeah,
your
yeah,
tonality, but like
right.
aside from like making sure you don't like rub your the microphone against your mustache or whatever, I
Yeah.
guess. But I was just curious, like if you, especially with like the screams and the yells and stuff, right? Like, because
Mm.
you have to get that bit more of projection. Like, I don't know. I was like, this is probably a really dumb question, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
No, man, I love it. I love it. I would say no, not like technically no, I would say.
Okay.
Has there been times where I accidentally get a mustache hair in my mouth when I'm singing? Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely happened. And it's kind of like, oh, try to pull it
that
out, you know,
that just happened to
go
me just
back at
now,
it.
bro. I was like, oh fuck. Oh, I love it, man. Well, it's funny because like with what you guys have been doing with the I was saying here before we started, like it's almost like you guys have become like also full-time content creators,
Hmm.
especially with the new single and what you guys have been doing with kind of this, I guess this marketing campaign for Solace and Stillness, which by the way goes without saying. I think it's my favorite work you guys have done. And
Oh,
that's
thanks, man.
I love. I mean, you know how much I love your guys' stuff, man. I've never been able to. I've never been one to like be able to be like, yeah, great track, bro, and then like secretly be like, this stuff is shit. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a good liar, but especially when it's like, I'm like, yeah, man, this song made me cry. Like, I'm not joking. Like,
Yeah.
But I was so ready to hear you guys go in the direction that you are as far as with there's some interesting things going on in that track, especially guitar wise. Like there's a
Mm.
couple of like moments where there's like some whammy stuff happening and like some pitch stuff. I'm like, that's cool as shit. Like, and
Thank you,
obviously
man.
your performance on it is, I think it's the best performance you've done, dude. Like,
Wow,
it's
thanks, man.
everything you do so well and everything you guys do so well in that track, man.
Thank you, man. Like, I would say, at least for me, but I think I could speak for the whole band when I say like this is the most stoked we've been on a track. This is probably our favorite release ever. The writing style in this one was different, you know. It was different than what we were doing before. The sound is it's still similar, but I feel like we're moving more into almost like the metalcore
Hmm.
genre now, when before it was like post-hardcore, which we still love, obviously. It just seems like metalcore has really taken this huge leap in the last like 2 3 years, and it's just getting insane. Like my mom is listening to metalcore and stuff, and I'm like,
No
how do
way.
you know of Mice and Men? How do you, like, like I'm like, like I don't even understand it sometimes. But um yeah, this thank you. This track means a lot to us as well, and it was a different direction, so I'm glad it's being perceived well.
And it's like, yeah, there's definitely some more, especially like the breakdown. There's some more. There's a little more chug happening, I guess, is the simplest way to put it with the
Hmm.
musicality. But like, it's still very much you. It's not like this total like complete difference left field. Like, yo, what the hell happened to Judgment? Like, you guys are totally. It's just like it's almost like you guys were even with Faceless. Like it was on my best of 2023 Huddleston Music Showcase for Faceless there.
Shout out.
um
Thanks,
and
man.
I loved that you guys had, I mean, number one, I did love hearing Lee take some parts on the chorus, just because I'm that's my boy on that motherfucker for like for years. So
Yeah.
that was really cool to hear. But like the way you guys work together too is so awesome, the way your voices kind of mend together and mesh together. But it's almost like you guys have just slowly, especially compared to the early stuff, it's almost like you
Hmm.
guys have just slowly progressed into that more metalcore style,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah. We're really enjoying it, man. Like making this music. And I mean, we're writing. Like we're still like writing a lot. And with every new song we're writing, it's like this is even cooler, and we're doing like different just different stuff. And our writing style has even changed, and I think this was the first song where our writing style had kind of changed, just the process of it. um and yeah, we're so happy with it.
When you say the writing styles change, I'm just curious, like what are some, like, you have to obviously go into the full detail, but like what are some things that are a little different from compared to how you guys used to write, say back in the day compared to
Hmm.
now?
So it's more of a it's more of a collective, right? Back in the day, like all of our other tracks before, it was kind of like Hack had a part and we built Hack's song, or I, had a melody and we built my song. And like obviously everybody played a part in it, but I think more than ever, that's what we're doing now. So basically, this is advice we got from a producer named Jeff Dalziel, or he goes by Jeff Diesel. He's actually my girlfriend's dad. He's a Grant or Juno award-winning producer. And he basically broke down kind of the way that people write in the industry and how things kind of go. So we're constantly listening to, what's popping, you know, in every genre, and pulling melodies and, rhythmic patterns, or colors, he likes to call them, um, from all these things, so that when we create our own, we can kind of pull from all these genres and create something our own. Um, and also on top of that, we all have what we call nuggets. Everybody puts in a voice memo of melodies, whether it's guitar, drums, vocals, if it's lyrics, whatever. And it's all kind of in one folder. Um, and when we're writing, like this newer track that we wrote, James had a guitar part. We said, okay, that's awesome. I went through all of the melodies and I'm like matching, like even if it's a different key, I just adjust the key. If something sounds a little bit weird, I just adjust the note that sounds weird. And I fit everything in. And it's such a like after we started doing it, it was like, this makes so much sense. Like to write around a guitar part, or just like instrumentals in general, I find it limits the melody. And the melody to me, and I feel like I've probably said this a lot on this podcast, but the melody to me is like the thing that makes a song big. Like no song that's big out there has a whack melody. Even like the spoof, like joke songs that you hear, they're good and catch people's ear because of the vocal melody. So that's something that we're really focused on. I've always focused on it, but now more than ever I am. And now everybody's kind of doing the same thing. And it's just it's made like making music really fun. Like it's always been fun, but just having like a different thing to kind of be mindful of, it's been a really cool process.
Talking on like the whole, you need something to sing, right? Is
Hmm.
like, I think it's a famous thing Dave Grohl said in an interview. He's like, listen, it's got to be a bumper sticker. Like,
Yes,
don't
I've
bore us, get to the chorus,
yes.
like you need, that hook. You need that. And especially in this day and age, if you do not have a hook, even if you are like a full on heavy harsh vocal metal band.
Hmm.
Like I talk at nausea sometimes on this podcast as well about like, oh, the hook of this song, the hook of that, the hook of this. It needs something.
Yeah.
And the fact that now I mean, in my opinion, you guys have always done that very well, but especially now that you're all really, I mean,
We're
with the
just
new
mindful.
single,
We're
yeah,
just
it's
really mindful of trying to create that. When
yeah,
before it was more kind of, I don't want to say like, I don't know how I want to say it. I don't want to say selfish, because sometimes you're like, I think this melody's good, so
yeah.
this is going to be the melody. But now everybody has a say, and it's like, okay, you like that melody, but the three of us don't. And we're just like very open and honest with each other. And just, I don't know, man. Like the wheels have been turning in every way possible. And we're just all so involved with this project. And it's just beautiful to just be a part of, you know?
So obviously when you guys, are looking through the fold and you hear the pieces that makes, a melody like Solace and Stillness, obviously you guys are all like, well, I mean, this is this is this is the one. I mean,
Yeah.
talking on nowadays, especially, it is so important to have that hook, especially one like that is so powerful and that you can then make 30 TikToks from if you want, because it's that catchy and it gets stuck in your head that much that you can do something silly with it, like, pour water on Lee's head, like that old Vine or something, because, that, okay, we got the melody, we got that hook, it's killer. I feel like you guys know it's killer. Anyone who listens to it is like, well, yeah, you're going to be singing that back to your. For I've been singing it back to myself since I heard it. I ever since I saw that video of you at the skate park, kind of
Yeah.
jamming out with it, it's been stuck in my head ever since. And I was like, oh shit, like the boys are
That's
back
a
with
great
something.
sign, man. That's what
Yeah.
we want. That's what we want to hear, dude.
And
But
it's so important to have that, and especially in the, like I'm saying, like the TikTok age, there are some bands that will have that one melody and it'll be
mhm,
awesome. Then you check out their other stuff, and sometimes it has it and sometimes it doesn't.
right.
And I'm not trying to be mean to anybody, but like
No,
sometimes you'll get that
it's true,
hook and
man.
it's like, this is killer. And then what else you got? It's like, oh, all this stuff is completely different from that hook. So the fact that
Right.
for you guys, people can hear the single and be like, this is awesome, and go check out your other stuff when they're like, oh, this all has crashing down face, like especially like the most recent stuff, like,
Hmm.
oh, this is still has that similar vibe. It's awesome.
Thank you, man.
I keep
Thank
saying
you.
that, but yeah, it's just it's how I feel. But like I just mentioned earlier, and I wanted to ask about the fact that you guys have almost now become like full-time content creators, and it really got started, I guess. It must have been like right after I talked to you back in 2022, because you guys were doing some stuff. You had your videos that you would make.
Right.
I'm thinking of like, this new age emo music sucks. Here's a
Right.
song
That's
I
kind of
wrote.
how it started. That's
Yeah,
kind of how it
yeah.
started, man.
So was that something that you all just kind of sat down one day and you were like, all right, listen, boys, we gotta start being content creators as well, because you guys really started at it heavily. All the guys started really going for it too. I want to say like early last year, midway through last year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's always been a thought. It's always been something in the back of our minds, but I think we just had to push through mm, we had to push through like the how people would view it. Um, a lot of times it can come off as like cringy or whatever. People just are like, "Oh, that's lame, it's corny, whatever." Um, and yeah, some of the stuff is 100%. But that being said, it works. And this day and age, man, it's not just about the music. It sucks in a way because there's a lot of really amazing bands putting out incredible songs that nobody's going to hear because they just can't break through the other side, right? And I feel like the socials, um, they help you do that. They help you reach an audience that you didn't think you could. Um, in I think I think it's a very integral part of being in a band now. Um, so Cam is like our bassist Cameron. He's in marketing and stuff like that. So he kind of brought a lot of this to the table and been like, okay, listen, like we kind of have to start doing this stuff. Um, and at that point, that's the only video we had was like the new age emo music sucks for to promote Crashing Down. And we saw the results in that one video. In that one video, it's carried, it's our biggest song, and it's not even close. And that's because we had something on socials that backed it. So now moving forward with Solace, we knew exactly what we were going to do before we even got the song back. We knew that we weren't making a music video. We were going to use that money to start making reels. And I think it's the best decision that we could have ever made, just based off of the little time. The song's been out for 6 days. It's been out for 6 days today. And if you see the numbers on this stuff, man, I'm not trying to be like, oh, whatever. I'm not trying to be,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
for
that guy.
sure. Yeah.
But just to see the growth in it, like the one reel, the first reel that we posted, um, after the song had been released, has 1.5 million views on Instagram and almost 700,000 views on TikTok. That's translating into streams. That's translating into follows. That's translating into other socials. People from Instagram are going to YouTube. People from TikTok are going to Instagram. So it's kind of building up this monster. Um, and we're so like we're in the early stages of it, and we're just seeing the results really quickly. And it's so awesome to see. Not only that though, I personally, I don't know about the other guys, that's up to them to say, but I love it. Like I love to create content. I love to create, period. Like it's just who I am. I love to create music. I love to create art. I love to create content. just because I have so many ideas up here, man. And some of them are garbage and some of them are not. And I think me and Cam have a good system going where he's kind of like my filter. I'm like, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this, and then we can do that. And he's like, this we can do, this we might be able to do in the future. These two, no. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. Like, but we have this, like, I mean, it's a friendship, but it's developed into like a I was gonna say partnership, but like kinda like
Yeah, for sure.
business partnership, right? Um, and it's crazy. And Hack has stepped up, which is James, our guitarist, has stepped up so much. Lee, he's such a huge part of the recording process. He records all of our demos. We go there, we write. He's obviously an incredible musician. He can play any instrument we want him to play. He basically lays it down because he knows how to play it somehow. And he's just the team is really good, and the camaraderie is really good, and that's what's making this actually happen, actually come to fruition, is the team's locked in and we are so focused on making this, our dream, a reality.
I think something that this fascinates me about like this whole new trend of musicians also being content creators is I think it was either like Ed Sheeran or someone who's like huge made,
Mm-hmm.
I think they made a TikTok about like, oh, my record label says I have to do this, but I don't want to do this because all I want to do is be a musician and play guitar. So
Right.
there are some people and even bands locally that like they just have no desire to even try that route.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you guys have stepped up and been like, you know what, we're going to write some killer stuff so that when we do start to go viral and stuff like that, we can back it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Right.
said, I was saying earlier, there are some folks that like, or they'll have like one song and you're like, I want more from these people. And it's like, oh, new single coming 2026. It's like, what? Like it's so the fact that you guys are being mindful of that and also are creating just, let's be honest, just ridiculously. I mean, starting with the whole ask an emo thing, like
Yeah.
that, you guys have really started to push into the whole we're an emo band thing. And I think that's something that when I started noticing you guys starting to get some serious numbers, especially with the Instagram reels, was
Mm-hmm.
that like ranking of emo bands and underrated songs from them and the heaviest bands. Was that again just something you guys were like, let's just start kind of trying stuff?
Yeah, that was actually the first thing, other than like music promotion, that we started doing. Cam had that idea. Him and James made the first video, and it did really well. I think it got like 250,000 views on it, and we were like, okay, well, I guess we got to do more of these. So it's grown into what feels like a community. And some people get it, some people don't. um we call it Ask an Emo, okay, because we ourselves are emo, right? We listen to emo music, but is what people are not understanding in the comments sometimes is that it'll be Ask an Emo, uh heaviest bands, top 5 heaviest bands. So we're just asking an emo a question: what are your top 5 heaviest bands? So we will say, these heavy bands and stuff, and then people say this is not emo, whatever, da 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 da. So which is fine. We were kind of like, okay, people aren't getting it though. But at the same time, it's creating a it's creating just comments, right? It's creating comments, which boosts the algorithm and all this stuff. So when we start seeing that, well, even when we get hate, what people don't realize, all of you little trolls out there who think, it's cool to make fun of people in the comment section, what you're actually doing is boosting their post, and you don't know it. So it's great when we get the hate comments. It's awesome when somebody hates, and then we got like 10 of our fans, trying to back us up, being like, yo, like, these guys are just trying to have a good time. It's cool, because at the end of the day, it's boosting the algorithm. Hey, buddy, look at that guy.
Sorry, Morty has interrupted a podcast once again, as he tends to do.
Dude, I'm a huge cat guy now, by the way. I don't know if I told you that, but
we're going to interrupt the podcast here, folks. We're rolling. Fuck it. This is my boy Morty. Hi, you say hi?
Little tuxedo guy.
Yeah. He is a tuxedo cat through and through.
Sweet.
He's my boy. Anyway, sorry.
That's
He's my
okay,
boy
man.
Through and through. Yeah.
All I'm trying to say is that when people hate, it's okay. And you just have to have thick skin and get through it. If, that's the biggest thing, is just trying to get through like the initial, like, oh, I want to see like what everybody's saying. Oh, people don't like this. I should never do it again. Like, no, keep going, keep building, keep doing it, because it's going to click with some people and it's not going to click with some people. You can't please everybody.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that a lot of people need to realize in, if you're trying to get into creating content for music, is that not everybody is going to love it. And, there's going to be people that hate it. There's going to be people that hate you, and there's going to be people that just hate your face. Okay. There's going to be people that hate your voice. There's going to be people that talk crap about your nose, your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your beard, your back, your feet. It doesn't matter.
Yo, this guy's back sucks, bro. Yo, you got a shitty back.
This guy's back is whack.
This guy's back is whack.
People will tear you down, but it's all fun and games. Like, that's kind of how you gotta think about it. Is it's all fun. Like, none of it really matters. All that matters is that people are talking. That's it. That's the biggest thing.
And I think that's the best way to look at it, because that's something that I think is always not held me back from trying to like branch into that world a little bit more. But like, I'm like, dude, like I look at some of the stuff and I'm just like, what is the point of making, this sucks? Like, really, that's it? That's all you got to say? What is, I rated a 4 because the singer looks like Danny McBride. He's a metalcore singer.
Dude, do I look like Danny? That's the first time I've ever heard that.
I don't know what this dude was talking
so
about.
hard at that one. I was like,
but yeah,
what?
The guitar meowed. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Like, at the end of the day, like you can tell you guys are having fun.
Yeah.
And the videos of you, like, the singer of Judgement, fought off invisible aliens at the show last. Like, I'm like, it's fun, dude. Like, just,
yeah, dude.
You can tell you guys are having fun. And then at the same time, you've got a track. I almost said a slap in the background, a track in the background that slaps. So who cares if you're laying on a floor next to a clock that's not working while the boys are in the background looking all.
That's it, dude. That's it, though. Like, you said it. You hit the nail on the head. That's all that matters. And you need to have fun with it, man. That's the biggest thing, is you just need to have fun with it. Yeah, these people that are putting these hate comments in, they're just looking for attention. They're looking for likes. They're looking to try to be funny. But most of all, they're trying to tear you down is what they're doing, because a lot of these people are insecure and they need to take it out on somebody else so that they can feel better. But what I can say is this: we tend not to respond to the negative because it's giving them what they want. You're just buying into to it, whether it's, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. The fact that they know that you saw their comment and you replied, that's what they want. That's why they want to do it.
Yep.
And if it, to be honest with you, if a hate comment or whatever starts getting a bunch of likes, it goes up the meter, right? So it goes to the top of the comments, depending on how ruthless the comment is. Delete, see you later.
Right.
You never existed, because now, oh, you feel all big and tough because you got 10 likes on your comment. Well, now you don't. Okay. And that's it. Because guess what? On my social media platform, I'm in control, not you. So I could go through and delete all the hate comments, but honestly, some of them are hilarious. And I literally laugh in my chair reading them. So I don't know. Keep the hate. It's awesome. It just fuels the fire in us to just keep going and just please the people that actually like it. Forget about the ones that don't. That's it.
And that's what you see most of the time, is like people that are loving what you guys are doing, or they're like, oh bro, go pick up that bottle you just threw. Like
I knew somebody was gonna say it, and I considered in the caption, I considered saying I went and picked that bottle back up, and like I went and recycled that bottle, but I was like, again,
no one's gonna notice. Yeah.
Well, and not that nobody's gonna notice, but let people figure it out in the comments. Like that's it, dude. Like, for example, like the reel that we just posted is me going into Beano's Pizza in Oshawa, grabbing a slice of pizza, singing the song, walking down the road, showing the camera the pizza, and it's a Hawaiian slice. And I did that on purpose because that's a controversial thing. Pineapples on pizza, yes or no, right? So I did it on purpose because I know it's going to generate buzz. And that's it. Like, that's how my mind works, dude. I don't know. Like, I'm glad that I can put it to use, because honestly, if I was just like a construction worker, which I do, this would mean that like a mind like this would be useless. Like I don't understand.
It's like, yo, bro, if I make a reel about asking if people pineapple on pizza, it's like, dude, what are you talking about? We got a deadline to meet. Like, what?
Yeah, dude. Like, but and some people might think it's cringe or stupid or whatever. I don't care. This is what it is.
It's like in itself, content creating, if we're all being really honest with ourselves, and I'm speaking for myself as well as a type of a content creator. Okay, bye, Morty. It's all kind of cringy. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Where I'm talking into a microphone by myself 90% of the time. That's insane.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's crazy. But like, just have, as long as you're not doing like prank videos, I'm all in,
Right.
I think the whole thing is great. And the thing I noticed most of that video immediately, was Cameron pointed out in the comments, was, why is homie facing the wall? And I was like, wait, why is he facing the wall? Like, it just silly little things that make you want to watch it again, man. You guys are doing such a great job.
Did you see what I commented back? Like,
no,
man.
Okay,
I commented showing off that merch. Link in bio.
Link in bio, bro.
Wearing our merch. But
that's awesome.
It's the little things, man. It's the little things.
I think my favorite one, just while we're just talking about all the TikToks, was the or reels, whatever they are. I already joked about this. I'm old. I don't know. I got pulled over by a cop. He let me off with a warning after I turned this up. And at first, I was like, oh, like they got like some guy to play a cop. Then I was like, oh fuck, it's Ev. Like, it's like, yo, hit me up for acting classes.
Yo, so
like, man, that's great stuff.
Real quick about that one, we've been, I mean, I love it. We've been on the reels for a bit, but real quick, if we are gonna change the subject, whatever. I woke up at 4 a.m. that day. Okay, and I'm just on my phone, whatever. See this comment on the video, and it's getting a lot of likes on it, And I just thought like, huh, I think I should just make a funny video. 7 o'clock in the morning, dude. I went outside and made that. I pulled my mom's truck up in front of my car and set everything up. And if my neighbors were watching, they would be like, what the heck is this guy doing? Like, I'm just dressed up in my in a uniform. I got this vest on, like looking like a cop and whatever. Did it get a lot of likes and interactions? No, but it was just funny and fun for me to make. Like that's what I care about, man. As long as I'm having fun, like I don't care.
There's a sentiment for, especially lately, I've been talking about a lot on the show, man. Like, so long as you're having fun with what you are doing, really, nothing else matters. If you
100%.
get some views and you can get some traction for a song and sell some merch and, sell out a show, go on tour, win a Juno, whatever, that's all great too. But are you having fun? And you could tell by the way you were doing a little jig at the end there, like, yo, my man just having it. He's just living his best life.
Living my best life, dude. I've been so happy this last week. Like I I've learned recently that I have like seasonal depression. So this time of year is not good for me. And I've noticed it in the last like 3 or 4 years. This like stuff that we're doing and like making music and stuff, um, it just makes me feel so good. It just makes me, feel like I have purpose because this is ultimately what I want to do in my life as a career. Um, and it's just fun for me. And it's like this last week, even like a little bit before, like leading up, just knowing like, okay, like, wow, this is, coming to fruition, like everything's working out. It's just given me a big boost, which I really, honestly, really needed. This year was not very good for my seasonal depression. But this has really helped. So thank you. Thanks everybody for um just receiving this well and just enjoying it because it's giving me so much joy, you know?
You're welcome, bro. No, I'm kidding. No, I appreciate you saying that though,
For
man. 'Cause it's
real,
like
man.
I think it's so it's hard not to be in a good place when you're, you know, making silly videos or you're writing stuff that you're really like, yo, this is cool. Like, even from my standpoint, like it's hard for me to have, I'll be honest with you, bro, today was a rough fucking day for me. And just I, I was like, that's why I got, I was like, oh, I get to talk to Ev now. Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, all right. Like, so when you can do the content you love to do and you're excited about doing it, that's like it can bring you out of a funk if you're in one, or if
Yeah.
you're working towards something. It's something I always say at nausea on this podcast too. Like, every single day, even if it is just you wake up and you're like, today ain't the day. Like, today is just screw today.
Hmm.
I'm gonna just go to work, grab a Big Mac on the way home, and go to bed. Like, it's like, listen, even if it's a day like that, if there's a goal you want to achieve, make some step towards it, even
Yeah,
if it's making a plan for something. Like, because
absolutely.
it's so hard to not, it's hard to stay in a funk when you're trying to work towards something, and
Absolutely.
sometimes it's hard to do that. But it's the
Yeah.
whole thing of like, if you go to the gym, you'll do something.
Hmm.
Kind of the same sentiment, I think. But
Definitely, definitely. I've found that for sure. And I mean, there 100% were days where I couldn't, right?
yeah,
Like
sure.
I just couldn't do it. All I wanted to do was stay in my room. I didn't want to see friends, family, nobody. I just wanted to sit in my depression, which is terrible, but that's what, for whatever reason, my mind wants in this time of year. And to have something that you're working towards does definitely help. 110%. Just you have something to look forward to. And again, it gives you this sense of purpose, which is the biggest thing that people regret when they're on their deathbed. It's, they didn't do, the big thing that they had, the big goal in their mind. Not even that they didn't achieve it, because a lot of the people that just do it, just try it, even if they fail, when they're, about to leave this earth, they can just say, damn, I'm so glad that I tried that. You know, it's so huge, man. I am a huge like supporter of doing what you love, man.
It's funny. I'm just nodding my head profusely because like as I am, slowly reaching middle age, I'm like I'm very hyper aware of the fact that like, hey, I've knocked some pretty cool stuff off the old bucket list that I've wanted to do in this life, but also I'm like there's still a lot more to go. So I'm like you got to keep working towards this stuff because I know that I'm that kind of guy that one day I'll be not even on my deathbed. I'll be like in my 70s, just like, walking around like, fuck, I wish I had tried to do this because now if I do it, it's weird. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
yo, guys, I'm going to start a horror podcast. It's like, Grandpa, you're 76. Why are you like, it's not
Hey,
cool
man,
anymore, man.
that could be something, though.
I
It
mean,
could be.
yeah, honestly, it could be. But yeah, I mean, I want to, like, not for me, but like, I really want to front a metal band. It's like, Grandpa, listen, like, it'll be cool, dude, but like, can your hip handle it? Like,
Is it possible? Like, is it
yeah,
physically
is it
possible for you to
physically
do that?
possible for you to do it? So that's why it's like it is so important to always at least try. You know how many things I've tried and failed in my life, but I'm like, I'm
Countless.
so happy that I tried it, man. And it's a beautiful sentiment you just shared, and I'm like, I'm in agreement with you 100%, man. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
important to do
huge.
that.
It's huge, man.
Definitely. So, well, speaking of things you guys did, as we kind of get ready to wind down here, I wanted to ask about the Single Release show because you guys
Hmm.
had an awesome showing January 25th. You guys had Cone from Sum 41 playing a DJ set with you guys there. How was that show, man? Because it seemed like just the energy there was just out of this world.
Dude, I would say that'll go down as one of my favorite shows of all time. It was the show was on a Thursday, right? So initially when we were planning it, it was kind of like, it's gonna be hard to get people out there, but the whole purpose of it was to have industry professionals come out and see us, but we thought it would be a good idea to get a crowd in there and just for the fans, and also so the industry people can see how we react with a crowd, because it's just weird, like if there's just a bunch of people in suits or whatever sitting in the back of the room and you're just like playing to nobody, it's gonna feel weird, it's gonna feel off. So we decided to open it up to the public, and I couldn't believe it, dude. I could not believe it. We had it at the Rivoli in Toronto. The place was packed. There was like 150 people in that room, and we were I mean, obviously Cone helped being there for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
But we were the only band on stage, and that was like my biggest concern is like, dude, it's just us. Like, how are we gonna pull people in here to just watch us? Like, usually that's why, bands build bills like three, four, five, even the hardcore bands, 6, 7 band bills. And that's how you get a crowd in there. But the love was just so crazy in that room. Everybody was just going nuts. Like, it was, the crowd was just unreal. It was unreal. Um, and to touch on Cone and meeting him and all that stuff, amazing guy. So down to earth, just chill, man. Like I love meeting people like that because, you can look at celebrities, if you want to call them that or whatever, and just think, oh, maybe they're like this, maybe they're that. And then so you're gonna meet some of them that are okay, yeah, I was right. Like they're not, the best people. Cone was just genuine guy. Um, and we even made like a piece of content with him, like it was a Ask a Demo, uh, his top 5 punk bands, and he was just nice enough to want to do that, and it was awesome. I think we have kind of a friendship. It felt like, I don't know, he loved us and our sound, and he just said whenever we got new stuff, send it over to him. So that's what we're gonna do.
That's awesome, man. I love hearing stuff like that because also like having gotten to know you and the boys over the last few years too, like it makes me happy when I see good people who are also talented, sure, but mainly for me is good people start to have success and real success. And I couldn't be happier to see you guys going the route you're going. And I mean, I'm sure in a year, when we talk again, it's gonna be like, hey man, so I know you're like on tour, but like you make time for your boy, like
Oh, dude, always
that's the
making
hope,
time for
man.
you, dude. You know what's crazy, man? Um, quick before we go, we didn't know who was gonna be at the show, right? Obviously, we're just thinking like fans and industry people. Ian DeSaw from Billy Talent, the guitarist of Billy Talent was there. The drummer of I Mother Earth was there, and then Brown Sound from Sound 41, the
Yo,
guitarist,
what?
was there. It was crazy, dude. Like it was crazy. I was like, and never in a million years would I think that these people would be in the same room as me. But like these are all amazing, talented Canadian bands that like I really hope to follow in their footsteps one day. They're in the room and like they know who we are and they're just listening to us. It was surreal, man. That's why I'm saying like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever forget that show.
And to be of, the age group that you are too, like I mean, those are bands that you like legit grew up with and like have admired in your genre. Like that's that's awesome, dude. I'm
It's
so
crazy,
happy to
man.
hear that, man. That's wild. And I mean, I'm
I
sure that
appreciate it,
they're
man.
they're sitting there watching you guys just going like, okay, all right, like you guys have that energy that's just like you're on stage doing like freaking swanton bombs on the fucking stage and shit. It's like yo, these guys are insane. Like this guy's gonna hurt himself, but it's like nah, man.
Just a part of the show. I went to go on the floor of the show to do the flip. I usually do. If I don't have room on the floor, then I'll come back on stage. But everybody was so wild. Like I went down there and people are just all over me and just everywhere. I'm like, I can't do this down here, man. I'm gonna kick somebody in the face. So I had to go back up on stage.
That's the last thing you needed that show to like accidentally hit someone or something. It's like oh shit.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
When did you start doing that? Like, was that just something that just the spirit moved you and you were like, oh, like, how did
Yep,
that start?
100%, dude. 100%. Like Ev Gallows is my stage name, and it is truly like a stage presence and an alter ego for me. Like I turn into somebody different on there, and one day we were just playing fading, and I was like, I'm gonna do a flip right now, and then I did, and then everybody went wild in the crowd, and I was like, I might keep doing this, and it never gets tiring hearing people be like, "Did you just do a flip? What?" Like, I love it. It's awesome, man.
I love it, dude. That's killer stuff, man. Well, listen, man, I appreciate the heck out of the time you making this work for me. I was so excited to get to chat with you again after a year and a bit. Again, man, the new single, I love it. I can't wait to keep seeing what you guys are doing. I appreciate the time and everyone go check out Judgement, man. They deserve your support for sure.
Hey, Tej, it's always an honor to be on here, man, and great chatting with you, great catching up. And thank you all for listening, and uh, love you. Go check out Solace and Stillness by Judgment, out everywhere.
All right, folks, there you have it. My conversation with Mr. Ev Gallows from Judgment. Hope that you guys enjoyed that conversation. And if you liked having the video component back, let me know. I might start flirting with doing video again. I don't know. See what happens. Something to think about at least. But be sure to go check out Judgment's brand new single, Solace and Stillness. And also keep an eye out on Judgment's Instagram and TikTok, which I'll have a link down below in the description of this episode to a link tree or something of that nature with all their social media links on it, because they got tons more content coming. Like every day they're dropping new reels and TikToks and stuff that are just super creative and hilarious. And they're not all just like memes and funny stuff. It's also like some cool, like very artistic music video type stuff, which is always a lot of fun. So go check it out, support them. Speaking of support, I would be remiss if I did not take a second to give a shout out to all of my Patreon supporters, my hotheads. We of course have Roden Kamori, Wolf Delta Pi, Eric Phones, CM Peters, Jason Reese, Kelly Sisson, Terry and Janet Hodder, and Neil Scrooba. Thank you guys all so much for the support. It seriously means the world to me. I could literally not do this without your guys' support. So I appreciate you all so very much. And I appreciate you so much for listening, especially if you're still listening. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, all that fun stuff. Leave a rating if possible. That really helps the show out and helps the show grow. We got some cool stuff coming up here at the Hodder Camp this year, specifically outside of the Hodder Show Camp as well. Just in my creative life, got something really cool coming up in the next month here. And then also on the Hodder Show Camp, got some really cool stuff coming up. April, leading up to April is going to be a really fun time frame. Let's just say that, folks. Be very afraid. And with that, I'm going to sign off here today. Thank you guys so very much, and I'll catch you next time right here on The Hodder Show. Take it easy, guys.